Okay, I'm back here with another fly, actually a bigger pattern. I wanted to demonstrate the putting weight on with this because it'll be easier to see. We're actually not going to put weight on the pheasant tail we tie today, but I wanted you to be aware because with nymphs, a lot of times you will be putting weight on, and that can help in a lot of different ways. But this weight, a lot of the lead or non-lead weight will come in spools. So we're just gonna pull off a little section, maybe just enough to work with, maybe 6 inches. And when you pull it off, you can actually just break it with your hands. It's pretty easy to break. But usually the one thing to note when you do this is, if we're starting back here with the tail, we're going to put the tail on back in this area. We don't want to start right back to the very back. Usually you're going to put the weight kind of in the middle of the body, depending on how much you want. But typically, and this weight comes in different diameters, and so you can get really thick weight, or you can get really thin. So depending, this is kind of moderate size. But so just doing this, so leave some room in the back and the front. So I'll show you if I'm doing this fly, and this could be, any fly. Let's say we throw in let's just stick with our pheasant tail, and we'll throw in some, cut off a little bunch of pheasant tail. We're only going to get about, for our fly, probably about that much, but let's just put on that tail. So say we have this tail on right here, wrap it in, and usually you're gonna have some excess. So what works pretty nice is when you cut it off, cut it there, and usually you can just start your weight. Right at the material. So what I'll do is come in here. You can just put that right over the top, pinch it on the back to hold it there, and just start wrapping. And you do these close wraps, basically touching wraps right next to each other. And you got this little one here, you can kind of move it with your finger. Move this back and just kind of bend it up, or you can even cut it off with your scissors. You might want to use your other scissors that aren't your real nice fine ones, so you don't dull the blade. But see how I did that? I just kind of bent it back up in place. Yeah, and just do some touching wraps. Again, you see how I left room in the back, and I'm going to leave a lot of room in the front too. And I'm going to use my other scissors. I have another pair of scissors here that are kind of more for some of this bigger stuff. And then you want to make sure you don't have a big. So I'm going to bend this front piece up to, just kind of bend it with my nail. Make sure it's not going to flip out. And then what you do is just wrap back over it. Secure it in front so it doesn't move around, wrap back over it, secure it in the back. And this just keeps it from, this makes sure it's going to just stay secure right where you're using it. You can kind of do as much as you want, but I usually just, as you can see a few times. And then you're set, and then you're back. So now you've got a weighted fly, and you can tie your materials on the top and just wrap right over it, and you'll just basically you're gonna have a little bit bigger body. So when you're doing your material, you might want to, if we were using peacock, you might use fewer strands of peacock to make sure it works for you. And that's another trick when you're not using weight. If you need to build a bigger body, just use more material. So that's what I got for weight. We'll get into this a little bit later, probably when we tie the one of the other nymphs, maybe the hare's ear. So we'll see you then.